In the healing care curriculum, it talked about how as humans with heavy emotions, we are like a bow and arrow. And a bow and arrow should never, ever, ever be fired. It's called dry firing. It should never be dry fired, because if you dry fire a bow and arrow, it can crack the bow. It should always have an arrow to send out, because there's an amount of energy in that bow. When you pull the bow back and you pull the string, that energy must be transferred to an arrow, because if the energy is not transferred to an arrow, the energy is then absorbed by the bow and will crack over time. And so as people, our emotions are like those arrows. So we are either holding them within, right? So we're not sending an arrow out, we're just receiving and holding all of that emotional pain that should be an anger or a sadness or a fear arrow that is shot out. We're just going to absorb that by not shooting an arrow, push it down, shove it down, pain, 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 until we crack. Or we're shooting those emotional arrows out onto others, and we're hurting others. It's like the quote, if you don't deal with your pain, you will bleed on people who never cut you. Like emotionally, there are things you've gone through that are leaving these huge emotional wounds, and if you're not dealing with them, you're bleeding on people who didn't cut you. You're hurting them. You're firing your anger, fear, sadness, emotion arrows onto people who are innocent bystanders, right? People can't handle that. Only God can. But God wants to. He's like, bring it, baby, bring it, you know? Like there's this Netflix series, The Flash, for a while, and he could like catch things really fast because his speed was super, super amazing. And only season 1 was really good. Just don't even go past that if you're interested in watching it. But he was so fast, he could like catch bullets and catch arrows. Like, that's how Father God is. When we shoot our pain and our anger and our sadness up at him, it's in this big, sharp, piercing arrow. And he's like, yeah, bring it, I'll take it. And he just collects them. It says he collects our tears in a bottle. He notices. He sees every tear you cry. He sees every time you're angry and frustrated. So if you actually will start to mentally tell God that you're sending it to him instead of shooting it at other people or absorbing it and dry firing it back into yourself, then you're getting it out of you and you're releasing it to the only one who is strong enough to handle it. He's not mad when we're angry. Like if we look through the Psalms, there's so many times when the psalmist is like, Lord, why? You know, why have you let this happen? Why am I so discouraged? Why is my heart so sad? Why can't I trust you? Why are my enemies against me? You know, it's okay to ask God why these things are happening. He's not mad when you ask why. He's mad when you hurt other people instead of talking to him about it. And even then, he's not like mad angry. He's just like, oh man, I could have dealt with that for you, sweetheart. He wants to catch those so that he can then, like the beautiful God that he is, like redeem it and turn it into something far more useful. He can take every ounce of our pain and anger and shame and sadness and fear, and he can transform it into something beautiful and amazing that you can then use to strengthen yourself and strengthen others. But if you don't give God the strong feeling that you're struggling with, he can't transform it. Because as one person has always taught me, Jesus is such a gentleman. He will never, ever, ever force you to do anything. But he is always standing there with one hand ready, like, if you need me, I'm right here. Just take my hand. Just look at me. Just let me help you. He's not a gentleman. He is not going to force you, though. He's going to say, I can take all those arrows. I can take all that. I absorbed every sin you ever committed in my body on the cross. So why then would you think that you can't tell me that you're angry that this situation happened to you? He's like, bring it, baby. Let's get it out of there and heal it so you can move on. So your emotional care steps are to start identifying that emotion, start to process these steps, whether you want to view it as find it, feel it, share it, receive comfort, or you want to view it as feel it, reveal it to heal it. The first step is definitely identifying what am I feeling on a regular basis, and then am I allowing myself to feel it, and who do I have in my life who is a safe person I can share, reveal, to help me receive comfort, to help me heal. Start identifying those things. Because when we escape our emotions, so many times the rest of ourselves screams in pain. So there's even a quote, sometimes our bodies will say what our mouths cannot. And that's like, for me as a people pleaser, I often will notice I have a lot of anxiety and chest pain when I should be saying no to something, okay? And my mouth is wanting to say, yeah, I can handle that, I can do that. And my body is saying, no, you can't, that's too much for you. And so I have to stop and address emotionally, why do I have chest pain over this issue? What should I actually be doing and processing with it? Or what are the residual feelings that have been painful that are in my cup that's causing me chest pain that I have not really identified, shared, revealed, and allowed God to heal? So then also I'm praying and begging God, I need you to pour love on that wound, pour love into that pain. Help me clean that out of my heart.